sir.
We have a quorum and it is 6:34. Yes. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I represent this flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay. Our next one, for citizens' comments, is the opportunity for visitors and guests to address the Board of Commissioners on any issue. The Board may not discuss any presented items, nor may any action be taken on any issues at this time. This is the Texas Attorney General Opinion JC-0169, and there's a 3-minute time limit. Anybody would care to address the meeting?
My name is Jennifer. I do live at 104 Vintage Ranch Circle in Lavernia. Just learned from speaking with your chief that we are different districts. We have 1 and 3 versus 2. Just want to learn why and figure out what's beneficial to try to get what makes more sense to have these neighborhoods in 2.
Yeah.
So just trying to learn a little bit more, get educated.
Any more comments?
Yes, I'm John Halford. I'm from Graytown, and I've got some maps that some people in my area would like to see if we could get y'all extended into our area as well.
Can we get them to identify? Is it physical address?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm County Road 152, County Road 158.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't hear it. I apologize.
And what was yours again?
John Furman,
No, what was red?
104 Vintage Ranch Circle.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate y'all coming. Next is review and updates to the Cimarron project. We're still looking at possibly late September to have it finished. Late September, early October. They've got the sheetrock up. They're doing the tape and flood. They're supposed to have an electrical inspection this week. They still have to put in bollards in front of the propane tanks. There's quite a bit of work left. Most of the plumbing is in, other than waiting for fixtures once the interior is done. Windows and doors should be done this week. I noticed at least one window had been put in this morning when I passed by, so they should be working on that. And then I was going to ask Adam if he was going to update us on the Texas Highway Department, what's going on with possible access.
So we've been in contact with TxDOT in order to see if we can get a crossover put there in front of Station 2 due to the emergency vehicle traffic that's going to be across 181 in order to be safer for the community and for us as well. TxDOT did meet with us out there on the site. They declined to put a crossover at 181 in Cimarron Drive. They said it was more of a safety reason. They explained that in order to properly make the crossover to where it would fit and be able to hold the weight of the fire engine, that it would have to be the size of a normal, regular crossover. So it wouldn't be one of the small traditional crossovers that you see for emergency vehicles only. They said they could still label it for emergency vehicles only, but that it would still be used. They said too much traffic would be up and down it. So is what they did propose is that I submit an entire proposal to the state written on doing a case study on our response times and how much that going on that turnaround adds into the response time. We went ahead and did the case studies. We submitted all the information as far as went the extra mile to give them some literature on CPR calls and cardiac calls to show what happens to the brain so long without oxygen and how each section counts. We gave literature on modern day structure fires to show how fast the modern day structures are burning, and we did show a comparison. We did the times that we used for the case study. We used a Sunday afternoon to try and simulate what the response would be if we were able to move swiftly with no traffic, and then we did a Monday evening between 5 and 6 whenever you have all of the traffic coming to and from San Antonio. It was a significant difference, and so everything was submitted to them. What they offered is that instead of doing a crossover, we do extend the turning lane to the existing crossover going northbound, and that we widen the shoulder going southbound on the other end of 181 and add in advanced warning lights that are triggered to come on with our alarm. So that way we don't have an exact crossover, but instead of going out in the neighborhood and fighting traffic and then trying to work our way to the outside lane, get up to the turning lane, that way we can have a turning lane straight from out of Cimarron. So it's a pretty good compromise. They're still going to work with us. Wasn't expecting them not to put a crossover, but they said that there's some state regulation on how far apart crossovers have to be, and since there's one south of the station and one north of the station, that they wouldn't put one in the middle. So we did gave them the example of the crossover that's in front of the hospital, how it's right in front of two crossovers, and they still weren't budging on it. They said if we were police or if we were an EMS only agency, that they could do it possibly because of the smaller vehicles, but with us having fire as well, that they wouldn't do it because of the fire engine and the timber. And
Will
right now,
they pay for all the widening and the lane, turn lane, all that?
they will pay for everything. And I did ask them the question, I said, if at the end of the day, if there was somebody who donated their labor and time and said, we're going to put a crossover here for fire and EMS, and they went ahead and did the work, would there be any legal issues with that? And they said, well, technically, if someone donated it, that they have programs to where they could write it through and it would still be okay. But we went back and forth for a while. So
yeah, it would be nice if it was donated, but I imagine it still runs into problems of proximity.
right, and of course the issue being that once you get in, I mean, everything's sand out here, so what you need to actually the work to put in to be able to properly support the vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Geotech on
Yeah. That's something that weighs 50,000 pounds.
yeah.
Any questions on the,
No, I got one more comment for you. You know, we're running into a problem getting someone to run Cat 5.
yeah, did you?
Guess who runs Cat 5? Best Buy.
Oh,
They're coming out Saturday to give us a cost on the router and to run everything and the access points.
Okay.
I'll meet with them on Saturday.
all right.
And we already checked with Matt, he'll be there.
Good, good. All right, thank you.
Can I go back to that one last item? The way we're configured now, absent what you want for direct cross, we don't have a problem with a turn lane request or any of the rest of it. We're okay on that, correct?
Yes, sir. Because they did explain why directly across. They said if we went straight across with the engine, that the length of the engine would hang over into
Yeah.
traffic. So, and they made a good point on it after talking about it. And so I don't have a problem with what they proposed. At least they met me in the middle on it.
Do you know offhand what the length of your engine is?
It's about 37 feet.
I think that's wider than 37.
That's understood. Yeah, they want a little cushion, I don't think.
It's a textile.
Okay. Now, review and discuss approval of the 2019 regular meeting minutes. Sorry, turn this off.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Commissioner Whitek has made the motion. Commissioner Hawkins has seconded. Do I hear approval? All those in favor, thank you.
Aye.
Carries. All opposed? I apologize, I'm the vice president, our regular president, ducked out on vacation, and I'm not used to running this.
We'll keep you straight.
Good luck. Okay. Review, discuss approval of the June 2019 Treasurer's Report.
Everybody get,
Well,
oh, that's yours.
I've
I
got
have
another
extra,
paper.
I have extra.
No, I printed extra just so.
Oh. Any questions, comments?
There was one question I had, and that's, Louis, we copy.
I think
Got him.
Yeah.
With today.
I have just one question on the, to Siddons Martin. For 94181. I was just wondering what.
That was gonna be the AC unit on the box. The box half of the medic unit stopped working, and that's a DSHS requirement. We have to have it serviced immediately.
Okay.
So that was for repair on
Wondering
that.
which one it's from.
I think it was 2 bids.
Is there a PO?
There was an emergency repair.
Send
Which
one, please.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments?
Still looking.
So he's still looking at it.
We're good.
All right.
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as submitted. Good job, Joe.
I second it.
Okay. We've been, we have a motion from Commissioner Whitek, seconded by Commissioner Cantu to accept the treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Also do this one first.
Investment report, okay. We will, it was one for this, but
It's
we
part of
do it. It's not a report.
Yeah.
You want to report on it?
She changed it.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Well, we have to report quarterly on the investment, which I typically do on the first page of the treasurer's report. But
Yeah.
this is the separate, this tracks all.
Oh,
of
this
the-
is for this.
Yeah, it's through June 30th.
All right.
Elaborate on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need more.
Well, okay.
Other than that,
We need more money, all right. Currently,
as of June the 30th, we have a total of $788,802. That includes $581,934 in the building account.
yeah. Leaves us a little over 200,000 for everything else this year.
As of June the
It's up to 30.
30th. No longer the case.
Yeah, okay, we've already spent that.
Yes.
All right. Review, discuss approval of June 2019 attorney's fees. I have not seen them.
I guess it's free this month.
Oh, right here. Sure, this is
I was told I undercharged last month, so I had to.
You undercharged and made up for it?
what? No.
All right, we've got two, just these two. All right, we have, and the total. $1,400. $495.50.
Is that right?
I like that.
I make a motion to accept now.
I second that.
All right, we
Number
have
again.
$1,495.50.
Let's keep that adjourned.
We have a motion,
I'll make a motion to accept it.
we have a second from Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Pay the retirements. Thank you, Lou.
You're welcome.
Review.
Pleasure.
You like the rest?
Something I need to ask Lou is on here that Larry has reviewed, discussed approval of the new contract with HDL.
You don't see it?
Have you seen the contract? Because I haven't.
I-
Okay, I will table this. I would suggest we table this until we get to, I think Larry sometimes sends it out without forwarding the attachments.
Or maybe he thought we'd have it by now. We just
Yeah.
and needed to get it on the agenda, or we couldn't address it, so.
I know what's in the mail, but we don't have it.
Okay, so then I recommend we table it. Second motion.
My understanding was it was supposed to include a lesser fee by
Yes.
50% and
Yeah,
the
that's going to
assumption
save
of,
us money.
yeah, and the assumption of the same responsibilities. But we don't have it.
Yeah, it's the, basically it's the company that purchased sales tax assurance. We're
Right.
just checking all our sales tax now to make sure we're getting everything we're supposed to from the area.
You table that,
All
Mr.
right.
President?
Review, discuss, and approval of the June 4th, 2019 special meeting minutes.
Did everyone get those?
No.
I got it, let me send it to you, yes.
No, you got the workshop minutes. We had the special meeting minutes.
Oh, yeah. No, I had the special meeting, I didn't have the workshop.
You're special.
I didn't get any of those. Back on 617.
No, those are the other minutes.
Those are the
We're
other.
talking workshop minutes.
Oh, okay, workshop minutes, I got that. Let's see, we're first doing the special meeting minutes.
Yeah, I've got workshop minutes. I don't have the special meeting.
Oh,
minutes.
okay, I've got the special meeting minutes. That's the one you just sent me. No, that's the one Rudy just sent me. Yeah, Rudy, would you send out the workshop minutes also and the
Yeah,
special
I've
meeting
got you.
minutes to everybody?
I recommend we take these out of order at the end of the agenda and let everybody look at them.
Okay, yes. All right, we'll skip these until everybody has them and we can look at them. And we'll go on into review, discuss, and possible approval of a donation button for Facebook.
Okay, so, as you know, we've been trying to do a little bit more fundraising for the department. Facebook, as our department page, has an option for us to add a button on there to be able to accept donations as a nonprofit organization. We can get that set up, but in order to do so, we need to send in previous bank statements to Facebook, and that is them verifying that we are a nonprofit. Basically, our treasurer's reports are substantial, I believe, and they just match that along with our tax ID to look and see if we are truly an organization raising the money, nonprofit, because if they didn't have a process, then anybody could just openly have a way to accept money on Facebook. They want to make sure if we're using the social networking as a public outreach to accept donations, that we are exactly who we say we are.
The,
I'm sorry?
the controller's determination would be a more accurate statement along with our designation of the 501c3.
Right, and that's whatever, so I'm not understanding why they're needing additional verification, because in order to even set up the page as a department, we had to go through a verification process to prove who we are as an organization, but apparently it's a very specific process they have in order to add that specific button. And when they approve you, it just pops up on our page, just like any other button there. When people visit, it'll give them an option to donate to the department if they wish.
And the donations would be to the department or to the FNR?
It would be to the 501c3, which is District 2.
District two.
I've got a couple of questions. One, how and where the money comes in so that we make sure it's transparent and properly reported.
Right. The way that they, from my understanding, they mail out just monthly checks based off of your donation. So let's say if today we received a donation on Facebook for $45, they're usually about 40 days behind and they mail it out and it goes to our listed address, our official address listed with the 501c3, and the check gets mailed directly to that location.
So send one check a month.
Yes.
And so what keeps them honest?
What keeps them honest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they're
Well, I believe
Curious.
that whenever you get it set up, it gives us notifications of the activity on the page.
It shows us on the page.
It shows up as a notification on there, and it gives a separate management table.
Is there any cost to us?
Exactly. There's no cost to us. There's no cost associated with it. It's just simply another way for us as an organization to be able to accept donations.
Could you send us the information on what all they want? I'd
Yes.
like to look at that before.
I'll
I
email
read
everything out.
anything.
Okay, that's fine.
And,
Statements.
yeah, I'm not sure
I'm
what all
reluctant to just.
bank information.
Right.
Yeah.
And I talked with Larry, and he seems to also feel that treasurer's reports should be.
That and our stuff from the Secretary of State.
Yes.
Yeah,
That should be.
so let's look into that before we
Okay.
approve this. And we'll just table this till next.
Our alternatively is just give them the right data.
Yeah.
And take action on it.
Okay. We'll wait till we have
Okay.
all the data and we'll put it
Okay.
So we're gonna table it?
Yes.
on. Yeah, basically.
Then what, while you submit?
All right. Review, discuss a possible approval for carrying whole blood on medic units.
Alrighty. So, Strike has been making a big push to rural communities to get whole blood out on the medic units. This is in order to properly address the trauma needs out in the rural communities. Most of the time, further out from a trauma center, air medical is utilized if a patient is in need of whole blood because air medical does carry the whole blood. However, they're trying to push out because air medical, it's another bill that the patient acquires. And so what we're trying to do is to make sure that we can keep that patient's cost as low as possible whenever we're dealing with them in the field. So Dr. Ogden has been making a big push on the whole blood as well because it's not limited just to trauma patients. It can be used for childbirth, it can be used for pregnancy emergencies, for GI bleeds. And the way that the program works with STRAC is that we would be assigned, it's one unit of whole blood. So we become a regional asset at that point. And so let's say Floresville, or even up right up in Bear County, but which Bear County too started carrying air whole blood as well. So we would be able to initiate that treatment a little bit sooner, as to where right now traditional EMS services, if you have a patient with substantial blood loss, the way that we address it is fluid replacement with the IV fluids that we carry on the units in order to keep the blood pressure up above the levels of shock. But you're not replenishing any red blood cells. And because you can pump them and pump them and pump them full of fluid, but it's the red blood cells that carry the oxygen throughout the body in order to allow the brain and the rest of the organs to be properly perfused. So initially when Dr. Ogden had brought this to the table, I had told him just on my end of it that we were going to go ahead and table it because there could be a high cost associated with it in order to get the proper unit on, which would be one of the Tahoes in order to keep the blood at the proper temperature, and a charging system would have to be added to the Tahoe in order to keep that unit running at all times. And then we had a call maybe a couple weeks ago involved in a major hemorrhage, and we had a need for whole blood. So, which of course the patient had good outcome. We treated the patient, but right after that, Dr. Ogden got a hold of me and said, hey, we need to revisit the whole blood, because out here we do have a high amount of motor vehicle accidents. And not only that, but we also run a high number of GI bleeds, abdominal bleeds. And with that, we could be making a big difference. So he did some research. I told him the reasons why we weren't able to do it before. He did some research and got back to me with a portable rechargeable unit that can be added on the unit without doing all the work, and it's a much lower cost. Basically, just in the interim of us purchasing a new command vehicle, which I told him wouldn't be for another year or two, because I told him it didn't make sense to be making those high dollar changes to an older model vehicle with high miles. The unit itself is actually $460. It's under $500, and with Strack, the way that it works is we get listed as a regional asset. So let's say if there was a major event that happened, and of course, so we had Sutherland Springs that happened here. Now with Strack that they have the whole blood program, anything like that happens, just like right now, we still cooperate with Strack. We still get put on deployments regularly. We still get put on standbys regularly for assets. This would just add us to where if there was a major event, or if there were a multi-vehicle accident, let's say even if it was in Pleasanton, they can notify us and we would deploy if we have the ability to. That's why it goes on a rapid response vehicle, so that that vehicle can respond without taking units in our area out of service. So they assign one unit of blood to start with, and you can obviously in the future add more. But in your initial, like our transport time from here to SAMC or here to University Hospital, 1 unit of blood would be sufficient in order to start that transfusion process and start getting pressures back up for the patient. And every 15 days, the unit is switched out. So the cost isn't to us for the blood. The way it works, we receive it from Strack, and then if within 15 days we haven't utilized the blood, we drive up to University Hospital, we switch it out with the new unit of blood because they have the higher chance of using it there in trauma surgery. And
Take it back before it goes bad.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they can still.
it's on the tracking process for the whole blood is very much like our tracking process for the use of narcotics in the field. So there's a long paper trail that goes along with it for many reasons. They want to see statistically the improvements that are being made. They want to see if patients are having a better outcome from this. If them having the blood in these rural communities is assisting the population. Which I went to a recent Strack meeting, and I sat in on the whole blood seminar part of it, and they are having really good trending numbers out of this program. So that's why they're pushing so hard, to the point to where it's a matter of us approving it as an agency, and if we agree as an agency that it would be beneficial to our area to carry the blood, then I would attend a Strack meeting, sit in on the whole blood session, and then I make their board aware that we would like to come onto the program. They have a vote on it, and of course they're not turning anyone down because they still have a lot of agencies are trying to get on board. Now once it's to where once every rural agency has it, they're going to slow down and be a little bit more selective, but right now they're really trying to get the program to have a good launch.
Do they require any additional training?
They have training, so training is put on by Strack and South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. So if we do elect to approve the potential carrying of whole blood, this isn't something that's going to start happening next week. I could even get the unit for the blood in next week. It's a process. I would have to attend one of their meetings, and from there we're about 30 to 45 days out. Then they approve it. We get in training with South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. They come down. We do in-service with all of the full-time staff. They make sure that all staff are competent in the blood transfusion process and learning how to treat possible issues that could come from that. And then once we pass all those levels of training, and the training also includes our medical director as well, then from that moment, then we get on the schedule to receive the whole unit of blood.
For the cooling unit, aside from getting the unit itself and putting it in this runoff bubble, you use an inverter?
So the system is able to plug into the car's charging system just a cigarette outlet, and it also can be plugged into a regular wall outlet.
So,
Yes, sir. And you have additional batteries with it, but the thought is that it's powered with or without the vehicle on it. It gets power at all times.
yeah.
And then, of course, it's all about additional steps to take. So, of course, if I know I'm going to be here at the station working for 12 hours, bringing up the trucks, and make sure it's fully charged, because if we get to deploy to wherever, make sure.
Yeah, I don't see where it would be much harder to just put a small automatic charger
Right.
on the unit itself, and you just plug it in, yeah.
Right.
Or an inverter, either one.
Well,
But you need to be charging the unit to run the inverter, so.
right. And
If it
so
runs off 12 volts.
the automatic charging system, I did let Dr. Ogden know that we were going to elect to not be adding that to either one of the Tahoes at this time. We did get quotes on it.
Yeah.
It was between $2,000 and $3,000 to add the charging system, the auto eject charging system like we have on the ambulances. And so we said it's not worth putting into the vehicle now.
Will we be able to just use a charging system that you remember to unplug if you tie it onto your door handle?
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I'm not sure how all that would tie in, because technically they still have to tie it, I guess, to the vehicle's relay system for the power to go through there.
Yeah, well.
Or
maybe
even-
a small charging system that would work through the cigarette lighter. If you got two, you could use one to run the cooler and one to charge the system.
And essentially that would work. I do have an inverter on the Tahoe right now, because that just runs the laptop, the Tough Book for field reporting. But there is one on there. It's a 500 watt, and I don't think this takes anything more than that. Right, actually it's a 1500 watt charging system that's currently on there. But of course that runs while the vehicle's running with the on-off switch. But then there's times the vehicle it can still lock, so even if I have two sets of keys in the way that I even do it now. Because I carry drugs on there to try and keep them cooler, as well as the laptop. So if I'm just running in real quick to a meeting or to the store, I lock the Tahoe, leave it running, run in and run out.
Okay.
It's the same reason why the medic units stay running at the store.
What was that charger?
The charger.
I mean,
it's
not the
got-
charger, the reefer, the cooler.
Let me see if I can read it right there.
That's the way it goes.
How many things?
4 amps.
It's another battery.
No, I think we should look into it, because
Yeah.
it helps the community.
Oh, yeah.
And I've already talked with Mary, who's the EMS director at Floresville. She said that she's really pushing and hoping that we move forward on this side, because then she would be using us as an asset, because of course they have a larger coverage area, and they do also have a high number of vehicle accidents like we do, and it would help. We can put our heads together and think of many times where it would have helped.
Okay. So what are we looking for the cooler itself? You said 4,500?
Right now, it's $459.
Like another couple hundred max for charger and stuff.
Right.
Can we,
Do we even have that?
well, I was gonna say, can we just include it in our next budget and planning meeting? That way we can at least try to allocate it for that?
Oh, yeah, we definitely should add it in for the budget. I just
Yeah,
won't
budget.
do it this year.
And of course, something to remember too, if you approve, today really what we're approving is being able to move forward. So if we approved even today, it would allow us to start the process, and I would foresee going live with this probably at the start of the new year,
Fiscal year or calendar?
calendar year.
So we
The
would-
calendar year?
Right, calendar year. Because of the process that it takes with STRAC and South Texas Blood and Tissue Center, it is a process. So, and of course, it's not gonna be today, and of course, they're not gonna come and hand us a unit of blood without us having the system, and of course, the system we can have in within a week. So really, we're talking about giving the okay to move forward with STRAC and to start the process with them, and then whenever we get a little bit closer in, that's whenever any financial part of it would come out from us. It's nothing right now.
So at this point, it would really be authorization for you to move forward with
Right.
pursuing joining the program.
Right now, it's just giving Dr. Ogden and I permission to talk with STRAC, to let them know that we want to come on board with the program, and then we start moving forward, and it's going to be a process to get on.
Is that gonna cost us anything right now? Just
for you to move forward?
No, sir, not at all. The meetings, and we're part of the regional area council. It's a regular attendance there, and whenever new agencies voice that they're interested, the biggest part of it is either we've met with city council or we've met with the ESD board, and we are all on the same page as an organization wanting to do this. So the time limit, I mean, I'm not thinking, this purchase wouldn't even need to be made until the new fiscal year. And there's no cost associated with training or anything like that.
Do we have to have an interlocal or a mutual aid to be able to
No,
administer
sir.
this?
Not at all, because we can be deployed one of two ways. So one, if it's to anywhere in the county, we already have mutual aid agreements with every single agency in the county. If we're needed outside of the county, one, we can be requested just on a per needed basis for mutual aid without a mutual aid agreement. But if someone were to need whole blood, they can also, it's the same process on if we needed additional helicopters. A call is put into MedCom, who manages, that's who Strat goes through for resources, and MedCom would contact us and dispatch us, which we're being dispatched through STRAC. So STRAC is what pulls all of us in our region together in order to be able to plan for major incidences, mass casualties, things like that.
And they address this to the president and the board. Since I'm still a shareholder, I'm going to offer to do this at the beginning of your fiscal year as a donation by our office if you can't fund it any other way.
Very, very generous, and I certainly think that behooves us to go ahead and.
Yes.
So as to get some,
Yes.
Movement going.
So,
Thank you very
we
much.
would like to have a motion to,
I'll make a motion to give Adam and Dr. Ogden authorization to pursue joining the program with STRAC, getting the necessary training, workup, whatever process that we need to sign up for.
before you go ahead and start looking into the materials.
Requirements.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Vitek. All in favor?
Aye.
just give me 30 days notice.
Any opposed?
25.
Motion passes. Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
All right, review and discuss command reports. 2019.
Very popular.
Has everybody had a chance to look at command reports?
It's kind of late.
I'm going to say no. If you got extra.
Yeah, I do have some extras.
One thing that I do want to add on here, under grants and donations, on June 22nd and 28th, we did set up at the intersection of 181 and 775.
Thank you.
We were handing out free waters to motorists, just trying to promote some safety during the hot months. And of course, accepted donations while we were out there. We only went 2 days for about 2 to 3 hours of time, and just under $3,000 was donated to the department during that time.
Excellent. Well, be sure to thank you guys for doing that.
Is this screw right here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we will be out at Walmart this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, doing health screenings for the public. It's not diagnosing anything, it's just general wellness checkups that we're going to do free of charge to the public. We're going to be working along with us, and Corzo EMS will be out there Saturday and Sunday.
All right, great. Y'all may have noticed we've got some new brochures that the staff put together, and
Oh, you haven't?
I'm sure I got one. I want it all pretty and cold.
don't ask me to hold this.
Now, I did ask, when I was whispering to Rudy, asking if there was any way during the command report time for me to, or any of us to address any of the comments that were made at the beginning of the meeting, to be able to steer the public in any way, shape, or form on what they brought up. I don't know the specific state laws.
Think so.
No,
As far as I know,
not until next year.
well, not until next,
We can officially have discussions, it can't be a board action.
Okay, so we can have discussion, but there can be without
we
any
can't,
action
yeah,
taken.
we can't do anything.
We can agenda, make it on the agenda for the next meeting.
So that there's a specific line item where there is, or discussed, okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to get some clarity for y'all. So that way it'll be an exact item on the next month, since it was brought up this month, where we will have a full discussion on the items brought forward.
Education.
And it'd be wonderful if we could get a one-liner from you. Email, whatever.
No, he knows what I
I have email.
You got it.
Yes, I spoke with,
You've got the excuse and the reason and,
Send it on to
okay, I'll send them with the agenda. Okay.
everyone's for somebody to look.
it will be.
Thank you.
Were there any questions about the command report?
I was just gonna mention for planning purposes on your booking of Walmart deal.
Yes, sir.
We do back to school clothing for the Wilson Area Children's Foundation on the 17th.
Okay.
And that morning, usually, that's not the tax-free day for the state, it's a tax-free day, we use our own tax-free number. So we'll have something around 250 to 400 people there. from
This is at
8
Walmart.
yeah, from 8 to noon. And it's usually scorching hot,
Okay.
and there'll be women and children. So that might be a good day to try if you're willing to do such a deal.
We will be there for it. What we're trying to, we had also been in communication with Red Cross, and they had agreed to work the event with us. We're also, because a big part of it is trying to tackle the heat-related emergencies. So August 17th definitely gives enough time in order for us to secure to make sure that they're out there, and then of course get with Thorsville again. And then we're going to try and bring on some extra staff so that way we can have both of our medic units out there, so that in the event that we get busy and start running calls, that somebody is still able to stay there.
I mean, the folks are not out in the parking lot a long time, but they come and go.
There's a lot of traffic.
It doesn't take very much.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
So,
Okay. And you said that's 8 to noon?
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever Saturday the 17th is. August. I
Well,
believe it's
Yeah,
you have what, 42
third Saturday.
loans?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I looked,
Yeah,
it was on the all-in-one report.
yeah. That was-
42 fire.
I'll talk to you more later.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then 39.
There's my minutes.
I make a motion to accept the command report as submitted.
Motion is made and seconded, made by Mr. Whitek, second.
I'm on Saturday. With
Whittick.
I was wondering when I was going to say something.
You never told me
You're
your
the new
name.
kid.
I've just been reading it.
Yes.
who's second?
Kelly.
The young lady.
Yes. Like Dick Whit. Okay. All right. Discuss meetings for budget planning. Yeah, when are we going to hear from the county? Any idea? Do we know what to do?
Probably sometime in August, I don't know, because we have to pass our budget in September.
Yeah.
But they're not quick to get it out, so I don't expect it to be in before.
Yeah, I think a budget meeting early in August sometime, just to kind of go over everything we think we gonna have to spend on,
Yes, that would be good.
and then see how much of it we can accomplish.
We could do it like around the 13th, our meeting's on the 9th.
Okay.
About the first week of
Yeah,
August,
by
as
that
far
time
as
we might
my
have to hear something.
staff
Yeah.
members for payroll. Yes, I've already started
Okay.
putting those
Sounds
out.
good.
Y'all are gonna be in town
Yeah,
August 13th, would that work for you, Judy?
Tuesday?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good time.
6:30, Kelly.
Well, no, I can probably make 6. I'll
All right.
We can take up the effect of SB2 at the same time.
think of what?
We can take up the effect of SB2 at the same time.
Okay, yes. We'll do
To the extent of,
that. All right, and that would be August 13th.
6 o'clock. And call it budget.
Yeah, just call it a budget planning meeting,
6:30?
6.
FY
6 o'clock.
2020
Yeah.
Yeah,
already.
not till the 31st.
You said 6, right, Kelly?
Yeah.
You do 6.
Yeah, I can do 6.
Rudy, does that require a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion on having a meeting on the 13th of August at 6 p.m.? Okay. Mr. Hawkins has made the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Cantu has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, just for information, on August 19th, 6:30 p.m., we will have our regular SD2 board meeting. And we held, there being no other business, we will adjourn this meeting.
Sorry, are we going to just table the special meeting minutes? Or
Oh, that's right, we have,
One that-
I'm sorry.
we can, I mean, we can table it for the 13th if you want.
Then it's already on the agenda.
It's on,
It won't
let's
take
go
long.
ahead. Let me pull them up real quickly.
What are you doing, John? Make a motion to accept it.
Okay, the first special meeting